Welcome back, everybody, to a very different kind of video. Yes, in the spirit of doing things very differently, we're doing a different content style thingy. Yes, the Last Day on Earth Discord Iceberg. Now, obviously, the Last Day on Earth Discord has some very interesting secrets, and, well, being an admin, I know a large majority of them. Obviously, the Iceberg goes much deeper. There's a lot of stuff inside of the Iceberg, and today I hope to at least start exploring what there is to it. So let's get into that. But first, if you haven't already, consider subscribing and joining my Discord. Follow my Twitter. You know the drill. Let's get to this. So I suppose let's start at the surface, and what better way to start at the surface than the surface level Discord. So once you enter discord.gg/LDOE, you'll be greeted with a 10-minute waiting period before you can actually talk into the server, which is obviously done to prevent massive raids, stuff like that. But once that's over with, you can officially see everything. You've got your welcome channels, game news info stuff, English chats, events chats, community leaders chats, which are basically like clan channels or people who are looking to apply for very basic content creator stuff, community input channels, which are basically just tips, update channels, stuff where you can submit feedbacks, pictures only, which are like flex channels, stuff like that, your very basic Discord stuff, and then other language chats. I think the LDOE Discord has surprisingly a lot of chats compared to most other Discords. You get your games channels, mini games no longer is here, but that's later in the Iceberg, and then utilities, just the music channel. Again, very, very basic. Obviously, you have your welcome FAQ rule stuff, which I won't go into too much. You can read that if you want. It's very basic stuff you would expect out of a Discord. But let's go a little bit further, and let's go a little bit deeper to some of the darker stuff. So if you look onto the Last Day on Earth's rules and roles page, you can see a bunch of roles listed there. However, there are a couple of roles that aren't listed there, and that is in part because we do need to update, but also in part information that isn't directly known if you really just look at it. You're going to need to poke around just a little bit to find this information. It's not that hard to find it, but you're going to need to poke around. So bot customer service representative, obviously that's very simple. The name literally explains it. These are people who work on bots. There's only 2 so far. Well, mainly 2. You'll see them in chat sometime. Events MC/participants, those are the event channels we mentioned earlier. I don't know why that's not listed. The Night Guest, Ankylosaurus, Netwatcher, and Valkyrie roles, which are Night Guest is Grimsoul admin, Ankylosaurus is Jurassic Survival admins, Netwatchers, Siberica staff or admins, and Valkyries are Frostborn admins, all sister servers of the Last Day on Earth one, so it makes sense that they have some sort of position around here, just not directly noted or listed. And then the last 2 very interesting roles, we have Lenny Face, you don't want that one, I will tell you right off the bats, and Veteran Support, which is a relic of an old past. I remember, well, you haven't seen this video yet, but I've been working on somewhat of a teaser video, and I remember that the day that I showed up to LDOE staff members, they were working on an Ask a Vet channel, which was basically where you asked veteran players specific questions about LDOE. Nowadays, it's just a relic of an era once past, but very fun to remember. Now, some of you remember when I posted this video about the LDOE and all of the other servers' member activity on Discord with that bar chart grace. I really thought that video was going to do something else. It really didn't, but now I can use it for this video. You remember when the LDOE one suddenly just dropped? Well, that was because Discord requires a purge in order to boost up a server's numbers, so in order to even request for higher servers from Discord, you need to purge at least once. That was the LDOE one. We prefer to call it a snap, but obviously some of my comments were saying it, but it's never openly listed on the Discord, so still something you're gonna need to poke around, but it's not that secret. Going a layer deeper, we're gonna come to all of the legacy roles, and this is the stuff I was talking about with like veteran support and these legacy channels that no longer exist, but there are relics of the past lingered and sprinkled throughout. So I'm just going to go through a couple of them. The upcoming content creator and content creator roles, which used to be YouTuber and small YouTuber roles. I remember very, very nostalgic seeing those roles. I still like to brag that I was the first upcoming content creator or the first one to get that role, but again, that video isn't necessarily out yet. I still got a little bit to work on it, not necessarily happy with it, but that's a long time coming. You'll know a lot more about those roles and my story with that in a couple of months. There's Verified, which was for YouTuber content creators who had alpha. Verified is now gone. Custom bots. These are a couple of bots that used to be in the server, but now they left for whatever reason. And then I think I can say this publicly. Well, I'm gonna say it anyways. The LDWE server has a large number of bans, and I think that's fairly obvious considering it states that any player found modding will essentially be banned. The LDWE server has over 10,000. I know, kind of crazy. Now let's go to the deepest parts of the iceberg. This is the stuff that you're really going to need to poke around for in order to figure it out. Well, I mean, the first thing's not terribly unknown, but I suppose most people entering the Discord aren't going to really know this stuff at all, really, and it's going to take a lot of work to start digging some of this stuff up. This stuff has long been buried, but here I am digging it up. So, here we go. The LDWE server isn't necessarily the first official Discord. Yet again, this ties into my video a little bit later down the line. This LDWE server, discord.gg/LDWE, is not the first LDWE Discord to exist. It's a combination of multiple LDWE community servers that joined together to ultimately create an official one with the developers and all of that. And then the last little thing for this tier, I've had this video saved for a very long time, and I've always wanted to throw it in somewhere for a YouTube video, and I guess now it finally makes sense. The Last Thing on Earth 100,000 people video. And this video was made by the developers when the Last Thing on Earth Discord officially hit 100,000 people. Now, I'm sure you recognize the ending, well, part of the ending mildly cropped off, as a very familiar outro, but I'm going to let the video play, and then I'm going to cut it off at, well, I think you'll see it in the video. I think everyone watching this video knows exactly what that is, but that really looks cursed. I don't know. It would be funny to see it in some new imagery, but if I was a new player, I would definitely be weirded out at why that's in the promotional material. It makes sense given Discord's connection with Pepe and the LDWE Discord. I'm going to give the backstory here. Sorry, staff. The developers saw a lot of Pepe, got inspired by it, and ended up making this video, throwing it in there. I'm just saying, it really looks cursed. I will also have to mention yet another tier, probably inside of the iceberg at this point. You're really going deep at this point. I mean, you've already hit the very bottom parts of the iceberg, but we gotta go inside of the iceberg. And right here is, I think, where I'm going to not necessarily openly explain it, but this Pepe is in fact a reference to something LDWE Discord related. I'm going to leave it at that. Otherwise, I am definitely getting banned, but right there, I'll leave it at that. There's your reference. Let me know, should I do that? Should I post another video like that? Let me know. Would you be curious to hear the explanation behind that, the secret reference, or any of that? Obviously, I could make one about LDWE, an iceberg video, but I'm not entirely sure, and I'd probably have to dig a little bit. Obviously, I do know some secret stuff, but I'm not entirely sure it's enough to fill up its own entire video. But if you want to see that, let me know down below too. Subscribe, ZD out. I'm getting banned for sure.